The heart of fall is synonymous with football, Halloween, and eventually Thanksgiving. But it is also the time of year where college basketball tips off. Earlier this week, the Lady Lions held their annual media day, marking the unofficial start to the season. Last year, Penn State got off to a red-hot start, winning 16 of their first 20 games. But the end of the season was no Cinderella story. The Lions went on to drop 10 of their last 12. But this year is a new year, and the team is well aware of that. This season, the Lions brought in one of the most sought-after freshmen in the nation in Maggie Lucas. But in the turn, they lost a senior leader, point scorer and captain Tyra Grant. The new year, however, brings in a new leader, Julia Tragle. Tragle is the lone fourth-year player, and she knows that having a young team means the season may bounce in her leadership.
I have to continue to make sure that I'm doing the right thing and setting the right example for them, and that's on a daily basis because they're always watching me, so that's just something that I've had to work on, really.
Basketball season may be around the corner, but right now it's football season, and there's something bugging the Nittany Lions. It's not a bee or a fly, and it doesn't even bite or sting, but it sure does hurt. It's the injury bug, and the team is all too familiar with it. The Lions are off this week following a tough 33-13 loss to Illinois last weekend. A break that is welcomed by a team who has struggled to stay healthy throughout the first half of the season. This week, Penn State released an injury report for next week's matchup at Minnesota. 6 Lions are currently ruled out for the game, which includes 3 players who are done for the year. 6 more, all defensive, are listed as possibles for next week, including stars like Jack Crawford, Andrew Daly, Bonnie Bachu, and Michael Motti. If the Lions remain beat up this season, it will be a tough second half. The Nittany Lions may be off this weekend, but there is still plenty of good football going on tonight. State College, coming off their first win of the season, heads to Hershey to play Lower Dauphin. Bellefonte hosts Indian Valley. Bald Eagle will host the undefeated Tyrone Golden Eagles, and Phillipsburg Osceola will play host to Central High School. That action will be all taking place this evening. Well, when you think of football players, you don't normally think of pink shirts, ribbons, and ponytails. But in Phillipsburg, they're already changing that.
Boys are always talking about it, and then they don't let you play at recess because you're like, well, we throw the ball too hard. It's like, yeah, right.
Football isn't just for the boys anymore. While there is already a professional women's football league, now the Moshannon Valley Y has started a Powder Puff League. On Thursday nights, girls grades 4 through 6 can come out to the Phillipsburg Elementary School and get their game on. The girls kick, run, and pass the pigskin around, burning off some extra energy.
Girls would just go and go and go, and you know, sort of like make up their own rules and things like that. They just run constantly, and I mean, when they leave there at night, they're ready for bed.
The league isn't just great for the girls, but it's a great way for parents and grandparents to spend their evening.
I think it's great. It gives them an opportunity to get out and play football. Feel like they could compete against the boys if they had to, and get a feel for what football is all about.
For now, this flag football league is just a girls' league, but perhaps soon the boys will need to watch out.
At the end of the season, the girls would like to put the pads on and play against the boys if possible. If not, maybe they can do a flag football game against the boys.
We end with some sad news for the Centre County lacrosse community. Tom Scordato, founding member of Centre Lacrosse and head coach at Bellefonte Area High School, unexpectedly passed away on Wednesday. The funeral mass will be held at St. John's Catholic Church in Bellefonte tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Scordato's family is asking that all lacrosse players who attend wear their Centre Lacrosse apparel and bring the lacrosse sticks to the service in honor of Tom's passion for the sport. Back to you, Gabrielle.
Penn State has one of the largest athletic programs in the country, and now an alumni donation will enable the university and its students to broadcast sporting events like never before. Richard and Susan Berry are funding a new broadcast production center that will be built in Rec Hall. These rooms will soon be home to high-definition sports broadcasting control rooms and editing labs. The Berrys chose to name the facility after legendary Penn State sportscaster Steve Jones.
Students will have labs to perfect their craft, and at the same time will have the state-of-the-art equipment that they currently use at the Big Ten Network, ESPN, and places like that. So that when a student leaves Penn State University and applies for a job, and they'll say, have you ever worked on, oh yes, I worked on it every single day.
The new facility will connect directly to the Big Ten Network studios in Chicago. The renovations should be completed in June.
It's a party with a good cause. We'll tell you all about it on the Center County Report coming up next.